It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
It's a lot of money and it can help a lot of people.
Millions of dollars being fed in to help grow Colorado's main streets.
It's looking for the future to make sure we create these beautiful environments that will create that revitalization.
They have helped businesses stay afloat during the pandemic, and now main streets will help businesses rebound from it.
It's a sigh of relief, honestly, for us to be able to get in there.
2.5 million more Coloradans now eligible for the COVID vaccine, including hard-hit restaurant workers.
I think that the more people that get vaccinated, will be able to get those restrictions lifted.
We saw people really taking advantage of the sun and warm weather today, but Mike is already tracking our next storm.
We're going to melt a lot of snow tomorrow, but we're going to get more snow starting Sunday.
Plus, President Biden and Vice President Harris meet with Asian American community leaders in Atlanta.
There are simply some core values and beliefs that should bring us together as Americans. One of them is standing together against hate.
This as new surveillance video shows the spa shooting suspect right before the first shooting took place. And a Nebraska family in Colorado for medical treatment for their son has their pickup stolen.
At first I thought maybe someone just towed it for some odd reason.
Now they're worried about what the trip for treatment will bring.
The biggest thing is you're not just stealing from two grown adults, you're stealing from a special needs child who needs to have this medical stuff done.
Good Friday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. A major part of the rebound for many small businesses and restaurants has been the transformation of main streets across Colorado. Towns have shut down parts of main streets to allow restaurants to expand outdoor seating. Now, even more help is coming. Denver7's Addie Guajardo is live in Denver's Larimer Square. Addie, the state is focused on helping these downtown areas flourish.
Golden residents are picking and playing a new tune and mining for a new vision to create a captivating downtown.
And it's official.
The ink on the bill is injecting $30 million into the state to revitalize main streets.
Are you looking for coffee or yogurt today?
Brandon Narva owns Güzel Yogurt and Coffee.
Güzel means beautiful in Turkish.
The last 10 years, his business is called Downtown Golden home. And between winter and the pandemic,
It's been tough. I won't, sugarcoat it at all.
But things are getting sweeter around here. The money does two things. It helps fund transportation projects like improving bike lanes and walking areas. It also funds creative community spaces for businesses.
What I really like about the bill is because there's not such a tied down definition of where the funds can go, it allows small or main streets like ours to get really creative.
Golden is approved for $50,000. Part of the money will be used to add lights to Minor Alley and create a welcoming area to attract new business.
It's our communities that needed that great support right now.
Support creating economic growth, promoting safe environments outdoors, and helping local businesses survive and thrive.
When things really get moving again, everyone can say, hey, Colorado, that's a place to be.
A state reflecting resilience.
Now, communities must apply for these funds. To apply for those grants, head over to cdot.gov. So far, 65 recipients have been approved for these grants. Reporting live in downtown, Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
Thank you, Addie. Larimer Square looking busy tonight. Well, Colorado is once again changing its COVID-19 dial system, allowing counties to have more flexibility in easing business restrictions. Among the changes going into effect next week, counties can apply for level green status if they have 35 or fewer COVID cases per 100,000 people. In level green, bars, gyms, and indoor event spaces can operate at 50% capacity or have up to 500 people. Counties still in level blue can have bars open at 25% capacity. And indoor, or rather outdoor spaces in level green or blue counties won't have any capacity restrictions. We have a list of the full changes on the denverchannel.com. 2.5 million more Coloradans became eligible for the COVID vaccine today. Among them are restaurant workers who have been hit hard by the pandemic. For months, they've been serving maskless customers, risking their own lives. Now the vaccine will give them another layer of protection against COVID-19.
Being around the general public for this long and, not having direct access to that, it's a sigh of relief, honestly, for us to be able to get in there.
Next week, the state and several other groups are hosting a vaccine clinic for restaurant workers in Denver County. The plan to vaccinate 3,000 workers between Tuesday and Wednesday. Also now eligible for shots, Coloradans 50 and older, public transportation employees, higher ed instructors, faith leaders, direct care providers, journalists, and people with certain health conditions. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock received his first vaccine shot today as well. The mayor is over the age of 50 and therefore meets the qualifications to receive the vaccine.
We know that people are still challenged to get in line and to get their vaccine, even with their own groups. It's one reason why I didn't jump the group and I waited until my group came out. But, we're also optimistic because more vaccine is coming.
The mayor says he got the shot to show people it's safe. He was also able to secure a vaccine within hours of appointments going online, something a lot of folks are struggling to accomplish. If you've been trying for some time, we advise you to visit thedenverchannel.com and look through the resources we've gathered. Today, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris visited Atlanta, Georgia, to meet Asian American community leaders and lawmakers. The president says we have to come together as a nation to end violence, like what we saw in the deadly rampage shootings this week.
There are simply some core values and beliefs that should bring us together as Americans. One of them is standing together against hate.
New surveillance video appears to show the suspect walking into this spa where the first shooting took place. After he walks out, police are seen rushing in. 8 victims were killed in 3 separate locations. 6 of the victims were Asian women. At the moment, investigators are not calling this a hate crime. Mental health professionals are now sounding the alarm that the trauma for Asian Americans could have long-lasting effects. ABC's Zoreen Shah spoke to experts and one woman who suffered a frightening confrontation.
With anti-Asian American hate crimes rising, health experts warn of a surge in another crisis, a mental health one.
The impact is lethal, it's consequential.
An advocacy group tracking reported aggression targeting Asian Americans says they've received nearly 3,800 hate reports this past year. Incidents like the kind New York City-based healthcare worker Chrisana Tang experienced in August. While commuting to help patients battling COVID-19, she was spat on and verbally assaulted with virus-related slurs on a packed subway car.
He starts spitting all over me, on my arm, my hair, my back. And he starts yelling all these racial slurs about going back to China and how Chinese people are causing the virus. People were just kind of minding their own business and pretending it wasn't happening.
Tang says the man ran off, but the experience stayed with her.
I don't really take the subway as much now, and I'm always constantly looking around.
Dr. Michelle Reja says racist aggression can have a long-lasting mental health impact.
When groups experience racial trauma, they have increased anxiety, increased depression, increased PTSD, increased substance use, and increased suicide.
Recently, incidents surfacing almost daily. An elderly Asian American man robbed, assaulted, later dying in Oakland, California.
He's like, communist China?
Oh, isn't that where you're from? And in New York City, this woman in a cab verbally assaulting a man on the street. And a man police identified as Robert Long has been arrested and charged with murder in the deaths of 8 people, including 6 Asian American women at 3 Atlanta spas Tuesday.
It's kind of a pattern now. I feel like I keep reading about it now every few days about an Asian American, getting assaulted or harassed.
Tang says she has suffered further mental health stress seeing incidents like hers.
Not just because of the risk of getting the virus, but also obviously being harassed and assaulted because of the discrimination that the community is facing.
Dr. Reja encourages anyone impacted to lean into their feelings.
Number 1, practice self-care. So turn off the television and connect with your friends and family. Number 2, be aware of any symptoms. So if you're not feeling like yourself, or if you have thoughts of harming somebody else, please seek help.
Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
He was diagnosed at 5 months old as being quad-spastic cerebral palsy.
A Nebraska family traveled to Colorado so their son could receive medical treatment. But while they were here, their truck was stolen.
The biggest thing is you're not just stealing from two grown adults, you're stealing from a special needs child who needs to have this medical stuff done.
Now our Denver7 viewers can help this family in need.
We're going to melt a lot of snow tomorrow, but we're going to get more snow starting Sunday.
And coming up later, theaters are thinking outside the box and inside the bubble to make a return to the stage.
It took a lot of big sheets of plexiglass, and then we took it into our shop and framed them up and built a wall.